I like the idea of the crossover between art and history. So I like the idea of being able to utilize photography from a contemporary art standpoint to tell a story of historical importance. I mean, I like the museum, I guess, placement of the work because it has that potential of telling stories that one group might not hear based on going to a gallery, and vice versa. They may not see the type of work in a specific type of museum. So I like to be able to tell a story that can cross boundaries. One thing I want to do eventually with the project, this exhibition is really phase one of the project, but to also begin to get to know more of the researchers, because they're definitely a big part of all of these theories. They dedicated their lives to these theories in many ways. And it's really important to tell their story as well. So eventually I'd like to do that. But this first phase is specifically the Japanese capture theory in the Marshall Islands. And it's the overarching idea is to tell a little bit about the history of the islands, a little bit about the history of the Japanese occupation, but then obviously to interweave those things into the Japanese or to the Earhart theory itself. With this project, I want to show more context. I want to show different ephemera that speaks to the history of Earhart, that speaks to the history of the islands themselves, that speaks to other things that were happening at the time, in this case, the Japanese occupation of these islands. So I didn't want it to be a traditional photography exhibit. I wanted to have that information as part of the exhibit. I've had exhibitions that the work just flows across the wall. I didn't want that to be the case this time. I didn't want the work to simply hang in that traditional style. So as you'll notice in this exhibition, it's hung in a more salon style exhibition. It allows for individual pieces to stand out, but it also brings the elements together, because there's this ephemera, the ephemeral pieces, there's the photographs themselves. There are, in fact, some constructions, as I call them, and also drawings. So I feel like the salon style, what it does is, like I was saying, allows the some of the individual pieces to stand out, but it also brings them together. The exhibition also is laid out in a somewhat story flow type of way. It's not a specific timeline, it's not a specific story, but it does have groupings that interrelate with one another. The individual pieces interrelate in one way or another. So like the first wall that you see is sort of setting up the feel of the islands in a way. So you have the ocean, so it gives the idea of that travel, whether it be Earhart or myself. Obviously I had to travel over the ocean, she flew, but so it's that combination. But it also tells the other images maybe tell the story of the islands. The images behind me are part of the Japanese occupation. So there's images of different fortifications that are on the islands to this day, whether it be pillboxes or sea walls or other elements. There's some ephemera that are the Japanese embassy stating to the State Department that they'll do everything that they can to help find her. So any Japanese ships that are in the area, they'll reach out and do it. If they see her, obviously we'll let the Americans know. One of the final walls has just a lot of photographs from the trip, photographs from the beginning of the trip of Amelia Earhart and Fred Noonan, so that are just showing a little bit of the human side of them. Just different photographs that I'd found that I found interesting, and showing the actual airplane. They feel more like personal photographs made by different people. So they're just telling that, hopefully telling that personal side. One of the cool things that came about from actually being able to be here, being able to help with the installation of the work, is things evolve. They change based on the space, based on the interrelation between the things that are hanging on the wall. So that was, it's been fantastic to be able to work with everyone here to get the exhibition as it should be.